You're listening to the Hella Well with Danielle show, a podcast taking women of color on a journey exploring all things wellness and travel related. We're all about showing you how to put on your oxygen mask first and creating lasting self-care habits that will free you to travel the world and live the life you truly desire, and not one you have to fake loving. I'm your host, Danielle Washington. Now let's buckle up and start this journey. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Hella Well with Danielle podcast. I am your host, Danielle Washington, and if you're watching me, and I did say watching me, not just listening to me on YouTube, I love you. If you aren't aware, we have a YouTube channel called Hella Well with Danielle, and I am now streaming the actual live visualization of me talking to my guests or me vibing with y'all. And so today you're seeing me in my little favorite DVF dress. If you are watching, I love me some DVF. And wondering, how do you fix your hair with some headphones? We haven't figured this out just yet, but work with me on that one. If you are new, thank you for joining. This is a safe space where we talk about everything wellness related and travel related for the women of color who are trying to thrive and not just survive. But also, I just love being in this space. And so today's topic is all about forgetting being Olivia Pope and fixing yourself. I actually low-key wanted to say F being Olivia Pope, but I was like, you know what? Today we're going to be a little bit more PC than typical. But before we get into today's topic, I wanted to let you guys know that I have a room in Clubhouse. If you're in Clubhouse, I have a room in Clubhouse, or I have a club in Clubhouse. And the club in Clubhouse is called Wellness Revolution for Women of Color. And every Wednesday, me and my girls, Evelyn Levasseur and Nicole Roan, do a Wine and Wisdom Wednesdays. And so every Wednesday at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time for 45 minutes, we get together and we talk about all different types of topics. So I want to make sure that you guys know that, A, that you are becoming a member of the club, Wellness Revolution for Women of Color, and B, you join us every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. for our Wine and Wisdom. And make sure you bring your wine because we're going to be chatting it up, because you know when you have wine, the conversation gets real. All right, so let's get into today's topic. Today's topic is about forgetting being Olivia Pope and fix yourself. All right, how do I even begin this one? I'll begin with my story. I wanted to be Olivia Pope so bad. Like when I left my last real corporate job, I remember I had a picture on the wall and it was Olivia Pope in her little white outfit. She had the hat on and everything and looking fabulous, as she always does. And I was like, that's me. That's on September 1st. This is me. I'm about to be Olivia Pope because I'm about to fix my life and fix everyone else's life. And I'm going to get out of this corporate job and I'm going to be Olivia Pope running the world. And if you think about Olivia Pope, she was, again, always super stylish. Everyone, well, I won't even say everyone loved her. She was always super stylish. And you always knew she would come in and be like, it's handled. It's handled. Do you know who I am? I'm Olivia Pope. It's handled. And I wanted to be that it's handled. I'm Olivia Pope. And it was more about not even that everything was handled. It was that I was in control. Do you know who I am? I'm running the show. I'm doing things. And I wanted to be that person. She was the fixer. She fixed everything. People came to her to fix their lives. And then I started thinking about it after I've been watching a lot of reruns. I probably should have been started that. I've been watching a lot of reruns of Scandals because I really like the show Scandal. But I've been watching it. I'm like, you know, Olivia never seemed happy. Like never. Like her life was a hot blanket mess. She's up there fixing everyone else's life where her life is being mad neglected. And I'm like, do I really want to be Olivia? Is Olivia Pope really the goal? Is that the goal that I want to be living or that we should be living towards? And I had to think about it. I'm like, no, it's not. But that addiction to being the fixer, feels good. It's like that I got you mentality to tell people, like when people come to you and know that you're like, they got you. And as a natural caregiver, I think that I have a natural caregiving mentality. And if you like to kind of put it into perspective. What does that mean? Like, if you're a natural caregiver, you're probably someone always people come to you and like you first meet them and they're like, oh, I just feel so comfortable with you. Like, I could tell you my secrets right away. I feel at home. You're always known as that person that no matter what, that is there. And, and I think people who have that mentality, who are, natural caregivers, and people always come to them, they think, oh my God, this feels so good. I should make a business out of it. I think a lot of people who are coaches and healers are in that kind of business end up are natural caregivers and have this mentality. But like being a caregiver or having that I can always help you and that feeling of, problem solving for everyone else can be again addictive, but also it ain't healthy. There's nothing, I mean, not that it's nothing healthy about it, but it's not healthy. It doesn't help you. And sometimes people don't really want to be fixed. I think of my situation where I do know one of my gifts is clarity. And like I have the vision or the ability to be able to see someone or see a situation. And it's like finding the where's Waldo situations. Like I can like, oop, there's Waldo. That's what's going on. But in my life, I had to realize when to actually say that, because sometimes people ain't ready for the information. Sometimes people don't want to hear it. And most of the times it ain't my place. Period. It's not my place to try to help everyone fix their lives, even though you're maybe coming from a genuine space, which I am. It's not always the healthiest thing for me and the other person. So I really wanted to, when I came to my own realization, is that I didn't want to be Olivia Pope. And it was like, oh, I need to start looking outside and like, oh, you need to fix this and that and that and this. I need to look inside and be like, oh, sis, what do you need to fix? And so I really wanted to kind of come into the root of why do we even want to fix people? What is this need? Like what really is at the root of wanting to be the fixer? What is the root of wanting to be the Olivia Pope? Because Olivia Pope didn't wake up to, I feel like we're in white and I'm going to fix the world. No, there was something rooted in her internally that needed to be fixed, that made her want to be the fixer. And so that's what today I really wanted to kind of get into the root of why we need to fix people. So one of the things I noticed was, and it's something that I noticed in myself actually, was that when people have this need to fix people or this addiction or whatever, need, whatever you want to call it, a lot of it is tied to like your value, or it's tied to what it means to love. It's like, oh, I show my love by self-sacrificing. I show my love by being there for everyone else and fixing things. That's, and if people start seeing me as the fixer and always the person to go to, that means I'm valuable. That means that I'm showing my love and I love you by constantly fixing for you. And it's in this self, that's that self-sacrificing mentality. And it's not always good. It doesn't help. Again, it doesn't help you. And a lot of times you're putting your value and your self-worth and how you show your love into, is it being tied into other people? When those people are gone and you're all by yourself, it's hard to find the value and love for yourself because it's all tied into how you can fix other people. And so that's something and I encourage you when I say all these different things, kind of like different options of the root of why you may be someone who's trying to fix someone, or if you know someone who's constantly fixing someone, like listen to all these and see which one resonates you. And I'll talk a little bit later about how you can, what you can do instead of that. So this is one of them. So this is, tying your value or your love to the fact of needing to fix people. The other one is it's easier to do for others than to do for yourself. Period. Like, it's all easy to say, girl, you have this problem. You need to fix this. You need to fix that. And if I was you, I would do this and da 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 da. Instead of looking inside and saying, oh, yeah, that inner child thing, that trauma that I had, I haven't fixed. And that's a lot of work. And so I'd rather turn my attention on fixing someone else than turning my attention on myself and working internally. Because again, I've said this many times, the internal work that we do Ain't easy. It's not like this cute little pill you take and you're like, okay, I've swallowed the pill, life is great, I'm good. Or you click your heels and I'm healed, like save the Lord. No, this self-work, this inner work that you're doing ain't always easy. And it's not always fun. Sometimes it's a little bit painful and it can be triggering. And so a lot of this times of us trying to fix other people is actually us running from not taking care of our own needs and our own things that we need to work on. And it's a distraction, real fun. It's a distraction from taking care of ourselves. Yeah. And I've been there. I think I've been there way too many times. The other thing I think about when I think about, when people, the root of why people need to fix other people is, hearing other people's problems sometimes is uncomfortable. Think about it. So you have a girlfriend who's talking about a situation where, she has, this horrible boss who's, always, not giving her just due, is taking her ideals and all these different things. Or she has a boyfriend who ain't ish and is going through all these problems with them. In your mind, you're thinking, okay, got this. Not just because you got this and you want to take care of your friend, because of course, yeah, you want to take care of your friend, but hearing someone else go through something difficult, someone that you love, it's hard and it's uncomfortable. And we don't want to be uncomfortable. We don't like that feeling of that helplessness, like someone's going through a really hard time that we love. And, in hearing that, it brings up some emotions, especially if you're an empath or, again, we talked about being a natural caregiver. It brings up some kind of emotion with you. And a lot of times our need to fix isn't to make their lives feel better. Wait for it. It's about us making ourselves feel better because we don't like feeling uncomfortable. That feeling of, I don't really like that feeling of not being like them having a bad situation. So let me fix it so I don't have to listen to them whining. And again, sometimes we don't want to listen. We try to fix things because we don't want to hear people complain anymore. It's like that same loop. You're like, girl, if you don't leave this man and this job and you're tired of it. So you're like, well, let me help them fix it so I can stop. So I can feel happy because I don't have to hear this anymore. And casting yourself in that role as the only person who can make them happy is exhausting and also unrealistic. Let's be real. You're shouldering all this weight of, of I can fix the situation. And, it just gets in the way. And I think this is part of the thing I was talking about before or want to bring up is feeling responsible for other people's happiness. And I used to think I was responsible for my parents. Well, I'm still working on this. Let's not lie. I have a tendency to feel like, oh, my parents' happiness and well-being is my responsibility. So I have to fix everything. My dad wants to drive. My dad should not be driving. My dad scares me on the road. He's 81 and it scares me. My mother, he scares my father. Yet my dad wants to be like, I'm in control. I got this. And so my way of trying to fix it is like, oh, I could be there for them for everything. I'm like, I'm there. You need Popeyes? I hate going there, but I got you. I'm there. Oh, you need something? You need me to take you to the doctor? I got you. I'm there. And then it got to the point where one day my dad was like, well, I'm just going to do me. And I felt like it was my job to fix that situation. I'm like, okay, do I call his doctor and tell him that my dad's driving to try to secretly get his license taken away? And I was like, that is some mad shady stuff. Instead, I had to check myself and be like, you know what? This ain't my problem. Me casting myself again as the only person who can make them happy and fix their situation was exhausting. It is exhausting. And it's actually how I got to this whole point of wanting to do this podcast, because I was exhausted by trying to fix everything for them. My parents are grown people. If they want to do things that are reckless, that's them. It's not my responsibility. I can't be responsible for a grown adult. And I would say the same thing for some children as well. It's like, it's unrealistic to think that you can fix everything for your kids. And also, even if that's unrealistic, you gotta let people make their own mistakes or learn, not even the mistakes. let me correct myself. You have to let people learn their own lessons. Because how are you ever going to learn in life if you don't fall? Falling is a way to grow. Because if you don't allow yourself to get to those little nicks and those feelings, you're never going to grow, and you're stifling by trying to be the fixer for everyone. You're stifling their growth. And it also, again, goes back to the fact that it isn't healthy. It is exhausting. And and let me stop. It doesn't mean that you can't be there for people. It doesn't mean that you can't support people. It can't mean that you can't be empathetic for what someone's going through or validate what they're feeling. But you can do it without being responsible, taking on the responsibility that it is your job to fix things. It's your job to fix them. Because when the midst of you trying to fix them and work and focus on them, because you've cast yourself as, dun, 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 I am Captain Savaho, you're forgetting to fix your own needs. You're forgetting you because you're so busy thinking about other people. And so that was one of the things for me that I had to recognize in myself, that I was casting myself as it's my job to make everyone feel happy. And even as someone who claims to be a healer, because I am a healer, I'm able to say now, because I did have problems with that before, that I'm a healer. I heal people through Reiki. I heal people through this podcast and having people think about different things. I heal people through my trips. Part of what I do is healing people. But that's not me fixing people. And I had to work on shifting that. My job isn't to fix no one but me. My job as a healer, as someone who wants to heal people in some form of coaching, wellness, whatever you want to call it, is to help guide people to help themselves. It's not about me fixing anyone. And if someone has that mentality, you need to be running from them, because again, that's not someone you want to work with, because it's not someone else's responsibility to fix you. It is your responsibility to fix yourself. So also, don't go around paying people, be like, okay, I'm going to pay this coach and they're going to fix my life. Ayanala is not real. I mean, granted, yes, she is a real person, but it's not her job also to fix you. What was it? Ayanala fixed my life. Yeah, Ayanala fixed my life. It literally is saying, Ayanala, someone else fixed my life. Instead of saying, hey, me, you in the mirror, I need you to fix you. Don't look externally to have someone else fix you. And also, don't be that person who's trying to fix someone else, because it never works out. It is not healthy. And you're stifling other people and you're stifling yourself. So, okay, we talked about the roots of why people end up being fixers or have this need to fix. So again, it was talking about, I'll kind of backtrack it one more time. First one was talking about this need to, when you tie your need to be a fixer to your value and your love and, that self-sacrificing mentality, the fact that it's easier to fix someone else than to fix yourself. I'm like, I don't know why my three is the fact that, sometimes hearing other people's problems is uncomfortable, and you start fixing so you can feel comfortable again. And so it's like you kind of want to stop the noise so you can go back to feeling happy again. Number 4 is, feeling responsible for other people's happiness. So those are the 4 reasons why, or kind of the root of one of the reasons why a lot of us end up being people who want to be the fixer. And then 5, you just want to be Olivia Pope. Let's throw that out there as an option. Okay, so what do you do instead? What can you do to train yourself not to be a fixer? What can you do to focus in on you? So the first thing I would say, and one thing that's been working for me, is awareness. Awareness of your need to fix. And looking at your root, think about some of the things I talked about, the 4 or 5 reasons that may be the root cause of why you want to be a fixer. And then ask yourself some questions like, how do you work through the root? How do you work through why you need to do this, and what is your reasoning behind it? And when you get that self-awareness of why you're doing it, and that when you are doing it, it's a game changer. When you can recognize that, oh, no, Me in this conversation right now, I'm trying to fix them. And that don't help me, that don't help them. And you can, actively just stop. Or, again, getting to the root of why you have this need is so, so key. So that's why I wanted to give you guys some root examples. And I'm sure there's obviously more, but those are some of the key ones I've kind of have seen or I've done myself and the reasons why. And so getting to the awareness of your need to fix and getting to that root is so, so key. The other thing is actively listening. And what I mean by that is listen to understand and not respond. As someone who is a fixer, we're often not listening. Let's be real. You're not listening. You're not listening at all because you're so busy. Like, okay, bet she started with, my boyfriend is, I think he's cheating. Like, he ain't got no job. He ain't ever there. He doesn't help me. And as your girlfriend is making all these points, you're in your head like, okay, let's think of these questions. Like okay, so when she finishes talking, that's my time to say go. And, fire all these questions, fire all these things she needs to give, fire all this advice. And so instead of actually listening to your friend or your loved one when they need you and they need your support and they're coming to you, you're instead in your mind not listening and you're getting ready to give them all this advice. And so you've missed being actively in the situation. So what I encourage you to do is instead of not listening, because when you're, again, trying to fix, you're not listening and jumping into action mode, listen, like stop and actually just freaking listen and ask questions. And when I say actively listening, that can be hard. If you're used to being someone who's always getting advice, it's like maybe you need to put your hands on, like under your bottom, like you need to, just really focus in, and it may feel uncomfortable because you're so used to giving. But I encourage you to literally physically give your attention to the actual every single word that someone is saying to you. And then once you've listened, you can ask questions. Oh, there goes a truck. You can ask questions, ask them, how do they feel? Or simply just listen and offer nothing. Just be that ear. And if you want to actually say something after you're actually listening and you haven't offered any advice, because that's what we're not doing, because we're not trying to fix anyone, you can validate them by saying, I hear you. That seems like you're going through a rough time and I hear you. You'd be amazed by hearing that. That just hearing, like, I hear you. I see you. I'm here for you. Being able to not offer advice, but instead offer support, and being able to say, I hear you. I see you. I'm here for you. So shows so much more than saying, okay, I got you. This is what you need to do. You need to fix this, this, and this, and this, and this, and this, because, oh wait, I know everything. No one wants to hear that you know everything. It comes off as very condescending and judgmental in real talk. And that was something I had to check myself. I'm like, you're acting like you know it all. When in reality, you don't know it all. And so being able to just actively listen, not provide advice, and just support, you come from such more of a place of love, and it allows you to care for your friends, family, loved ones without having to fix them. I also encourage you to set boundaries and keep them. And that was something that I had to do was, I could set a boundary, but I was making adjustments like, for this person, it's different. They really need me. My nephew needs me. And so I need to be the one giving advice. No, you don't. You don't really need to be the one giving advice, because again, sometimes people just want to vent. Have you ever been in experiences where you just want to vent and someone instead is coming here giving all this advice? I've been on the other side of that. And I'm like, I'm so annoyed. Like, I just literally just wanted someone to listen to me, hear me. I wanted to be heard. I didn't want your advice. And so it can come off when you are a fixer and you're trying to fix everything as condescending. So if you don't want to be condescending or judgmental or be deemed as that, become more aware of when you're doing this and learn how to actively listen versus constantly giving advice. And also, if you feel like you have something you can share, whatever, and this is, it kind of can become a little dicey, but working through that is ask them if they need help. Ask them, do they want to hear your opinion? And that's allowing them to invite you to give support and give advice versus you automatically assuming, oh, they need this. Oh, they don't need this, and so I'm going to give it to them. So allowing people to invite you into the situation versus you saying automatically, oh, this is my role. This is where I'm good at. And so people come to me all the time for this. So you're going to be really lucky that I decided to grace you with my opinions because my opinions are bomb. No one wants to hear that. No one wants to hear that. I mean, maybe there's some people. I won't lie. There's maybe some people out there, but it's not healthy for you or for them. And that desire to fix others isn't just a bad habit. And let's be real, it's a bad habit. It's a bad habit that you need to change. But it's more than a bad habit. It's something that's so deeply rooted in your need to fix things let me rephrase that. It's deeply rooted in their need and connected to your needs to fix things in your own lives. That need to fix is a sign, a symptom, a quasi-disease, a side effect of something else that's going on in your life that you need to fix. It is a side effect of something that is wrong in your world that needs to be fixed. But instead, we go like, oh no, it's not me that needs to be fixed. Everyone else needs to be fixed. But it's a process. And it's a process that's going to take some time. Again, you didn't become a fixer. Olivia Pope did not become a fixer overnight. That took many years, many situations, many narratives that, oh, this is my job. This is who I am. This is how I get my value. People need me. I am the all-knowing controller of the fixing of the lives. No, it took time to get there. So it's going to take time to unlearn. It's going to take time to get to a point to where you're able to actively listen versus feeling like you need to fix someone else's life. And I encourage you to take time to reflect and start looking within when you're thinking about helping someone else, giving advice constantly, and ask yourself, why do I feel it's my job, my role, or I'm the person they needs to give them this advice? Why is it me? Why do I need to fix things? Why do I feel I need to fix things? And really be honest with yourself. And that will help you get past this needing to be Olivia Pope and start fixing and loving on you. So that's what I got for this week. I hope you guys got something out of this. This is a process again. This is something that I'm working on. I have not mastered. And I don't know if I ever will master. I think part of this role of always feeling like a caregiver, and it's been my job to do things, I'm now coming to this awareness that, no, it's not my job. It's my job to allow my niece and nephews to learn on their own. It's my job to allow my parents to do whatever they're going to do. And it's not my job to advise them. To advise them that this is how you do it because I need to be in control of the situation. No, it's not my situation to control. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on how you guys go about not being a fixer, your thoughts on how being a fixer has affected your life. And are you even seeing that you are a fixer? If you are, let our sister know. You can send me a tweet on Twitter. I'm HelloWellDanny because I couldn't get my real name. So you can definitely send me a tweet or, send me a DM. I'm on Instagram. Other than that, I look forward to talking to you guys soon. Take care. And thank you for another episode of the Hello Well with Danielle podcast. I'll see you guys next week. Ciao. Thanks for joining us this week on the Hello Well with Danielle show. Make sure to visit our website, hellowellwithdanielle.com, where you can subscribe to our show on iTunes, Spotify, and Amazon Music and never miss an episode. Also, you can follow us on social media at Hello Well with Danielle on Facebook and Instagram, and Hello Well Danny on Twitter. And if you hella love the show and got some good nuggets out of it, know that I'm not too proud to ask for you to please leave a rating or review on iTunes so that we can continue to expand our reach and help other women of color. Again, thanks so much for listening, and I hope to see you next week. Ciao.